In a quiet workshop filled with wooden benches and tools hanging along the walls, light streamed through a window, while the steady sound of a hammer tapping echoed softly.
A young apprentice stood beside the master craftsman and said he had learned how to use the hammer, the chisel, and the plane, but he remembered the master once saying there were greater tools that could not be found in any ordinary shop.
The master smiled and explained that every worker of good must carry 2 toolboxes, one for the hands and one for the soul. Holding up a hammer, he said that while it shapes wood, the hammer of the spirit is courage, which drives truth forward when fear tries to pull the nails out. Lifting a chisel, he explained that just as it removes what does not belong in wood, discernment removes pride, bitterness, and deceit from the heart. A measuring square reminded him of integrity, the tool that keeps every line straight, because without integrity, every structure leans, no matter how beautiful it appears. The level symbolized humility, which keeps a person balanced, for when someone believes themselves higher than others, their spirit tilts and the work collapses. The saw represented truth, which cuts cleanly between what is real and what only pretends to be. Finally, the master placed his hand over his heart and revealed the greatest tool of all, love. Because courage without love becomes violence. Truth without love becomes cruelty. And discipline without love becomes pride. But love builds houses where strangers become family. He reminded the apprentice that the world itself is a workshop, and that every word is a strike of the hammer and every action a cut of the blade, so one must choose their tools carefully, because the house they build is the one people must live in.
What kind of structure are these spiritual tools meant to build?
They build a house not made of wood, but of life, community and legacy, where every act of service becomes another beam placed into the structure. Taking a hand plane and smoothing a rough board, patience removes roughness from people just as the plane smooths wood, because life often leaves splinters in the human heart, and patience gently shapes them away.
Apprentice, what about the nails? Master, nails represent faithfulness, small acts done consistently, promises kept, kindness repeated, and service offered again and again.
It is not one great act that holds a house together, but thousands of faithful ones. He showed a wooden mallet used for delicate work and explained that it represents mercy, because a hammer can force things into place, but mercy persuades them gently. The house becomes dangerous. Power without wisdom, truth without compassion, and strength without humility create structures that imprison rather than shelter. Many houses in the world are broken because builders forget who the house is meant for. It is meant for everyone, the poor who need shelter, the weary who need rest, and the lost who need direction. Greatness is not measured by what you build, but by who is protected by what you build.
I had tried to use the tools, but the world outside the workshop was full of conflict, dishonesty, and selfishness.
Neglect allows small flaws to grow until entire structures collapse, just as it happens in people and societies. The clamp represents reconciliation, which pulls separated pieces back together. Forgiveness fills the cracks so strength can return. A righteous person continues building anyway because righteousness depends on the integrity of one's own hands, not the behavior of others. I once had a teacher who understood hearts better than wood and taught that every person is a living stone and every act of love is mortar between them. Even the greatest temple is built one stone at a time.
Years passed, and the apprentice traveled from town to town repairing roofs, building homes, and restoring abandoned places. More importantly, he helped rebuild trust and hope among people. Eventually, he returned to the same workshop, now older and wiser, when a young student appeared asking to learn the secrets of the craft.
The former apprentice, now a craftsman himself, welcomed the student inside and explained that the true secrets were not in the tools, but in the heart guiding them. He told the student that the workshop was not about wood and nails, but about building people. Pointing to the tools on the wall, he explained again that the hammer represents courage, the chisel discernment, the level humility, the plane patience, the saw truth, the clamps reconciliation, and the glue forgiveness, while the greatest tool of all is love. The student asked if the work would ever be finished, and the craftsman gently replied that the world will always need builders, which is why each generation must train the next. He then opened the workshop doors and told the student that the real work begins out in the world. The craftsman later revealed that these tools were only the beginning of a larger toolbox. He explained 12 tools that every righteous builder should carry: courage like a hammer, discernment like a chisel, humility like a level, patience like a plane, truth like a saw, faithfulness like the nails that hold structures together, reconciliation like clamps that unite separated pieces, forgiveness like glue that restores strength to broken places, wisdom like a measuring line that guides direction, integrity like a shield that protects the work from corruption, hope like a lantern that allows builders to work in darkness, and above all, love, which guides every other tool so that skill becomes service instead of domination. The craftsman explained that every builder follows a design and that long before any workshop existed, there was a master builder who designed justice, mercy, and love and placed compassion in the human heart. He told the student that people are not the true builders but workers in a greater construction where every act of kindness lays another stone, every moment of courage raises another wall, and every sacrifice strengthens the foundation. The student realized that the entire world is a workshop, and the craftsman agreed, explaining that every person has been given tools that can either build or destroy. When the student asked what will happen when the work is finally finished, the craftsman said that one day there will stand a house greater than any ever built, a place where justice lives, mercy welcomes the weary, truth stands like pillars of stone, and love fills every room. He placed his worn hammer into the student's hands and reminded him that they are not just building houses, but building hope. And when hope is built with truth and love, even the strongest storms cannot tear it down.